They're the real deal.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
And how many of you currently are using video in your marketing plan? Okay. Anyone that's using it that's not just listing videos? Like you yourself is in the content? Okay, cool.
Nice. What type of content are you doing? Or besides the listings, what else are you doing? Yeah.
Well, I do live videos.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's great.
But also I do some random open this team
on unboxing stuff? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And like, try to mix it up.
I love
Some
it.
jokes, real estate jokes.
Ooh.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to pick your brain after and get some from you.
And then another question before we get into it. How many of you watch Netflix in general? Like how many of you watch it weekly? Okay, cool. If you can hit the first slide. So YouTube actually has a bigger market share than Netflix. It has a bigger viewership on your TV in the living room than Prime Video. And basically YouTube is taking over TV in general, and that's kind of where the future is going. And yeah, so essentially you never know who's gonna be watching your content on their big screen in their living room. And you look at the trends of where things are heading. If you create quality content, you could be a part of people's lives and be potentially more viewed than, Amazon Prime or Netflix, that type of thing. So keep that in mind as we get into the YouTube part of it. A little bit about myself. I'm a mortgage lender. I've been doing that for about 10 years now. Did a double major in finance and marketing at Washington State University, and started a YouTube channel in December 2021, just talking about the Mariners and baseball. And over the years, I've started to put, sorry, sore subject. I didn't even think about it until you,
I'm not even a big Mariners fan, but it's
I know.
a rough week.
Oh,
yeah,
I can't even imagine your world.
Yeah. And so, lots of Mariners content, Washington State University football content, have over 12,000 subscribers now, have gotten over 4 million views just on YouTube alone throughout the years. And I've, put mortgage ads in my sports videos as I've gained traction, and I've now helped people close on mortgage deals directly from my sports videos and the marketing from that. So now I've teamed up with Michael to teach these classes and help people specifically with growing their own video marketing. So that's Coach Jimmy Rogers in the middle. Like we're one of the go-to, Washington State University podcasts now, just from getting in front of a camera, starting to talk and staying consistent with it. Here's some other videos, player interviews with both Mariners and Washington State players, and had the scouting director for the Mariners on. I've had, have a regular with one of the radio broadcasters for the Mariners. So it's been a lot of fun. Opened a lot of doors and opportunities that I had no clue would be able to be open. And then here's my YouTube channel. So just kind of showing what it looks like. And that's the radio broadcaster for the Mariners, Gary Hill Jr. Just over 12,000 subscribers. And this is the metrics for the past 90 days specifically for my channel. So 236,000 views, 7,200 watch hours. And then the next one, the most important thing for me is like how many people are watching the content. It's not about the views or the vanity stuff, but like how many people are watching the content. And then how many people can I get my ads in front of, basically. So those are the people that are consistently seeing your content and who you can market to. And then when you dig down into YouTube metrics, you can see the demographic of their age, what their interests are, and you'd be surprised at how many of those people are within the home buying range. It's the people that I'm looking to get in front of anyways. I also have a mortgage and real estate YouTube channel, and I'm excited because we're gonna be hiring Michael and his team to really double down on the real estate and mortgage part of it. And this has turned into actual deals. So this is a guy that lived in Florida, was watching my Mariners content, saw my ads. I ended up helping him to move to Olympia last year, and there's been multiple of those. So this stuff does work.
Awesome. So just notice for a second with Connor, he was talking about himself with video, how powerful video is. Like not only is it good for your business, but it's going to open the doors to so many opportunities. So you rattled off like 5 or 6 things that are just going on because you met so many people, things like that. So video, if you think about it, if you use it in the right way, is basically replicating yourself to like possibly millions of people. So video is a very powerful tool. So a little bit about myself. I own Praise Media. I've been doing it since 2022. I was an actor in Hollywood, moved to, got a little sick of it. So I went into entrepreneurship, and haven't looked back since. So we work primarily with local service businesses, and we help them generate leads through video content. So we have our own system in place where we handle the entire process. And we basically do 10 to 15 qualified leads every single month for our clients. So as you can see here, 3 million views with Praise Media clients every month on average, and then 100 million revenue generated through our clients as well. And so why video now? So before, like in our previous classes, we were like, okay, like brand awareness, getting people to know you, amplifying yourself, stuff like that. But now, if you see there's a lot of studies that are out there that are basically saying that the trust for businesses, especially online businesses, are going down. And that's because there's so many scams. There's so many businesses that promise one thing and underdeliver. There's just so much broken promises out there. And so the recent study basically said that there's a 73% decrease of trust from consumers. And so video, when used right, you can shorten that trust gap. You can shorten that sales process. And so at the end of the day, you want you want to attract the people that know, like, and trust you. So at the same time, marketing, it helps accelerate the sales process, like I just said, and then not numbers of content, but time on brand. So Connor, you want to go into that study about?
Yeah, and so basically it's about getting into, how can you get someone to watch 37 minutes of your content? When someone watches 37 minutes of your content, they become a different viewer. They feel like they know and trust you on a different level. They feel like it's basically marketing yourself in a virtual business card without having to actually get in front of people. And for example, on my mortgage channel, I've created various evergreen pieces of content, which we'll get into in a bit, but like a first-time home buyer's guide. So when I have an initial call with someone that's, it's a 5-10 minute conversation, talking through how to buy their first home, then I send them a 25-minute video that I took the time to sit down and make a quality YouTube video on. They watch that, a bunch of questions are answered, and now they feel like they can trust me on a deeper level because they've seen my content, I've educated them, and basically it's about getting someone to 37 minutes of your content, whether that's a ton of different shorts on Instagram or TikTok, or if you have a quality podcast or a few YouTube videos.
Thanks so much for watching the video so far. If you have any questions at all or need help implementing any of the information we just covered, be sure to visit our website, praisemedia.com. Now back to the video.
Who knows who Ryan Serhant is? Okay. Who's read the book Brand It Like Serhant? If you haven't, I would add this to your list of books that you can read. My biggest takeaway from this one is finding your and. Like, you're a realtor and what? I'm a mortgage lender and I'm super big into sports. Like, finding your and really leaning into that, because ultimately you're human. You're not just a realtor who sells people's houses. You have all of these different interests. If you're super into cooking, you can make a cooking video in one of your upcoming listings. Or if you're a sports fan, you could be playing catch with a football in the backyard of a listing. So really leaning into your and, finding that, and then making content around that so that it's not just another listing video, but it's something that it's showing that you're personable and that you're a human and that someone can work with you.
Yeah, and I just want to add on to that is I like to tell everybody is that you are enough, okay? Because we hear all the time, sometimes people are like, videos are oversaturated. I mean, who's going to listen to me, yada, yada, yada. But you have to realize that people always gravitate to different vibes or different voices, right? So just because Ryan Serhant's out there, he has 3-4 million followers, doesn't mean he's going to relate to everybody, right? So I always tell people, I promise you, there's that one person or that one group that's just waiting to hear your voice, that's waiting to see your face. So I just wanted to...
And because ultimately there's the same types of videos that people are making, but by you making the same video as someone else, you're creating your own lane because you're your own person. Someone's going to want to work with you instead of another person that might be making the same video. And so this is just an example of having a mortgage ad in the video, right? It's like, it's a Coug fan that's buying a home. That's the type of thing. And this is from ChatGPT. So you just work smarter, not harder. We'll get into more AI down the road, but that's just an example. Just flash that in your YouTube video. So now getting into the difference between search engines and social media. There's a big difference. Google and YouTube are the top 2 search engines in the world. Google owns YouTube and they're heavily integrated. And you'll see that when you type in something on search on Google, you'll see thumbnails for YouTube videos that are popping up. If you go to Google Images, it'll show various thumbnails for YouTube videos. And so you can get found on Google, which is the top search engine in the world, if you're just creating quality content, have a quality thumbnail, a quality title to get people to click. Versus social and search engines, your content can be found for years to come, 5-10 years down the road. If you make a quality video like that first-time homebuyer video, someone could talk about home buying process, type that into Google. 2 years from now, someone could see that thumbnail, want to click on it, and end up watching the video. Versus social medias, such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, most likely that content is going to be relevant or searchable, findable for days or weeks. It's a much shorter shelf life for that. So you want to focus on the stuff that is going to deliver long-term results. And it's a compound effect. The more that you focus on creating quality YouTube content, it really just compounds on itself and the lead flow comes in throughout the years. And like I mentioned, how are you going to get someone to watch 37 minutes? Ideally, it's going to be through YouTube because that's more efficient. Someone can watch one video versus 40 videos, 50 videos on short form.
Cool. So just going into the planning and equipment aspect, I won't spend too long on this, but for the most part, every tool is at your disposal. It's not, we're in a day and age now where things are very affordable, especially when you're first starting out with content. But I just kind of broken this down into like 4 important things. So camera, everybody has a smartphone in here, right? iPhone, Android, that's all you need because it shoots 4K, really good quality. I would suggest when you do use the iPhone to use the back camera as opposed to the front camera because it's just a lot better quality like when you film. So if budget is like, oh man, like that $4,000 camera, I can't afford that, just use your iPhone. It's better than anything. Tripod to hold the camera. Usually the technology in here is pretty good. They have something called like stabilization, meaning that when you like bounce around, when you like run around or like spin around a lot, it has technology in it that's going to help stabilize the footage so it's not as shaky. But for the most part, using a tripod, you'll be safe. Audio, personally, I like using wireless labs like what we're wearing right now because we're filming this for content. It's just a lot simpler to use just compared to like corded mics and things of that nature. And then last but not least, light. There's plenty of options you can use. You can do, I personally am a fan of natural light. So if you're like at a listing or some type of project, just using a natural light like with a big window is really good. But there's also like LED options, ring lights, things of that nature.
And I'll just also add the eye level piece.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that your camera's at eye level. You're talking to a human through the camera. You're not talking up to someone or talking down to someone. Right. So it's just those little things that make a difference.
Exactly. And this is just like a free tool that you could take, so you can screenshot this website, visit it later. But we basically compiled a list of all the equipment we've used throughout our year. So we've tested and tried thousands of equipment. We basically made a list of all the best things, and it's by budget too. So you can use it by, if you have a lower budget, if you don't have any budget at all, you can go through this list, and it has links to each of this equipment. And we're constantly updating it. So you can basically save this, and it's a live document. So.
Now getting into some of the different types of content, I mentioned earlier evergreen content. There's also trending content, which are 2 different buckets. You want to be making content in both, but there's differences in those. So evergreen content is going to be as it sounds. It's long-term, it's deep connecting and long-term, everlasting. And like that first-time home buyer video could be viewed 5 years from now, and it's going to be relevant 5 years from now and also today. Versus trending content, they cut interest rates next week. You can make a video talking about that. People are actively looking for that trending topic. But a few months, a year from now, no one's going to care that they cut rates this next week. So you want to utilize both. Basically, trending content is to widen the net of people that you can find. And then evergreen content is to really get deep in the connecting in the relationship. And this is a slide that you can take a picture of if you'd like. Like I said earlier, everyone can make the same videos, but you're going to be in your own lane. You're going to create your own lane. You're going to create your own audience. And so these are examples of evergreen content within real estate. So as I mentioned, there's educational pieces. So going through the home buying process, talking about all the different steps, pre-approval process, how to build your credit score, down payment myths, or you could be the neighborhood guide. And you should be doing all of these, just kind of sprinkle in different columns or pillars that you're making content in. So the neighborhood guide is the local spotlight. Here's what $500,000 in Hazeldale, Washington gets you. Talking through the new developments that are going in, the Ridgefield's blowing up, making content around that and educating people on what's to come. Everyone's curious of, day in the life. What's the day in the life of a realtor look like? Just making those types of videos are different. And then client testimonials is a good one too, to where obviously people can talk you up. And then here's trending content. So we talked sports a little bit. If you have a neighbor with a sports flag that you don't really like, then maybe you can say, hey, you want to find new neighbors? I can help you sell your house. And then talking housing trends, interest rates are cut. This is what's happening with the market. Anything that's year specific, so 2025, or as we get into 2026, you can start making content right now of what to expect in the real estate market for 2026. People are going to eat that up. Also just talking through anything that's currently trending. So you definitely want to utilize this and evergreen.
Yeah. So notice how none of these topics contain a generic listing video. LOL. So it's like what Connor was saying before, especially in this industry, I can tell you right now, and I've seen tons of content, like 99% of people are just posting, oh, just sold, pending, listing property, which is fine. That's great content, but that's the only content that they're posting. So you're not being remembered, and you don't have that separator of being like, man, I can really relate to this guy or gal. I want to reach out to him because, I know him on a personal level, right? So those ideas that we gave you, those are just a small sampling of different types of topics that you can do with your content. Again, these type of videos, I'm just kind of poking fun, but those type of videos are great because you want to showcase your work, because at the end of the day, people want to work with winners, right? They want to know your expertise. They want to know what type of deals you're working on. They want to know how you communicate with those buyers or sellers that you're working with. And so having a good hybrid of this type of content and the content we just showed you will do wonders for your brand. Yeah, so I just want to show with you, I'll go here. So I just want to share with you a couple samples of this type of content, right? So this one in particular we've worked with, he's just pretty new to real estate. I can tell you right now, 80% of his leads come from Instagram organically, just from the type of content that he's doing. So I just want to just kind of share with you.
As a bachelor, I was continuously taking different dates to these 3 same restaurants. Here we go. Number 3, Tusk Restaurant. This is a great Mediterranean style restaurant with great hummus. They do an awesome lamb dish that I absolutely love.
This one in particular is breaking down the top 3 restaurants in Portland. And so we put a kind of a spin on it because he's married. So it's like, okay, where are the places you went to when you were single, right? So it's like, kind of just had some fun with it. As you know, because he's a foodie, he loves food. So part of the strategy is like, okay, we're going to share your passion with food. So let's start talking about like restaurants. And obviously this is in a neighborhood that he represents as far as real estate goes. I do want to share with you another sample here. So most people know like Zillow, Google, everybody has like their Google set up for like reviews and things like that. You guys have pretty strong flow. So here's a creative way you can share your reviews and at the same time elaborate on what it's like to work with a client.
Joe went above and beyond to help us find the house and then kept in touch constantly throughout the paperwork process. His knowledge and connection to the real estate community helped us to get the most out of our purchase. We will be recommending Joe to anyone that is looking to buy. I love this client. This client was actually a coworker of mine for many years.
So the reason why we did a screenshot as opposed to like putting some generic quote is because it's like, at the end of the day, you want to have solid social proof. Because you don't want people to be like, oh man, that's a fake review, dude. But you can literally go to Zillow and look at that same review. So that's the reason why we screenshotted it. And so looking at that, you see obviously 5 stars. He's reading it, and then he goes into detail about what it was like working with that client. So it kind of gives you almost like an inside look of what it's like working with him and his team, and then at the same time how he works with clients. And this is an example of like just a local business spotlight, like another one. So this team in particular is pretty active in Portland. And what they do, in addition to like showing their listings and things like that, is they interview different local businesses in the area. So like restaurants, artists, musicians, things of that nature. And this is just one of the ones that we did recently.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Johnny.
And it's Leo, and today we're here with our good friend and owner of Flipside Bar and Cars, Logan. So Logan, how did Flipside come to be?
So we actually started Flipside back in 2018. It was my mom's dream to always open a bar. I just bartended most of the time, worked all the shifts I could, learned a little bit about managing, and then she was like, hey, I'm over it. I want to retire.
I will tell you that, yeah, as you can see the views, that was like within 24 hours right there. So it popped off pretty good. And all they did was a simple sit down with the owner, talked about how they started the business, and went from there. So it was just kind of like an interview style sort of deal.
Appreciate you watching the video so far. So we have some exciting news. So myself, as well as my buddy Connor, who is also in this video, are spearheading a 3-week workshop called the Client Magnet Launchpad. So what this is a fully immersive virtual workshop. We'll be meeting on Zoom for an hour to go over some hacks, tips, and other strategies that's going to help you leverage both social media content and AI systems to help blow up your local business. So this is specifically for local business owners. So if you're interested, visit the first link in the description. Spots are filling up fast, so you want to sign up today.
And then within those columns of evergreen and trending content, now there's the difference between long form and short form. So what exactly is the difference? Well, long form is really anything that's over a minute, 2 minutes long, and it's horizontal. Anything short form is going to be 1.5 to now you can go to 3 minutes. On TikTok, you can go to 10 minutes, but it's going to be vertical. You ideally want it to be a little shorter because just the attention span is shorter. When someone clicks on a YouTube video, they're going to relatively commit more time to watching that video compared to a short. And so short form content is a lot like Costco. Like you're walking through the aisles of Costco and there's samples. So the shorts are like a sample. You want to make sure that your short form is similar to or it's accurately depicting what your long form is if they were to go commit to it. And you can actually link short, like on YouTube Shorts, you can link a short video to a long form. So if someone's scrolling on YouTube Shorts, they like that short, there's a link right on there that can take them to the long form to watch the full video. And some short form tips, like I mentioned, 1 to 3 minutes. Ideally, you just want the hard hitting information only. You don't want any fluff or uhs or ums. Just edit all that stuff out. Take out any pauses or gaps. You can add trending music to shorts to help. It does help in the algorithm sometimes. Ideally, you're filling the screen. And then you have 3 seconds to catch someone's attention. So to know, hey, I'm so-and-so, they're already gone. It's like you just have to get into the hard-hitting information. It's really just a hook right off the bat so that you catch their attention and then they'll stay for longer. So you have 3 seconds before someone's scrolling to the next video. And then what type of content should you make with shorts? Well, one is to repurpose your long form. I would definitely say to focus on creating quality long form content for YouTube. That's where the most bang for your buck is going to be. But one is that you repurpose your long form into short form. So you just basically resize it. You take out the gaps and pauses. You make it good for shorts. Standalone shorts are great. We're going to create a green screen at the end, which is what this is. Basically, you could have a green screen and put any photo or video in the background and talk about trending topic or whatever is going right there. And then try to drive engagement. Try to get people to comment and respond or ask questions. And short form, I mean, it can be really quick and easy like the green screen.
Yeah, just to add on there, I can tell you right now, like the top 5 types of content styles that are very popular right now this is one of them right here, green screen. This is a perfect opportunity to talk about, like what Connor said, articles, any trending topics that are going on. You can what's that word? Not entertain, but promote your listing. You can promote your open houses that are going on. There's so many creative ways you can do it. And the beauty of this is that after we train you, you'll be able to do it, no problem. But it takes 5 minutes, easily. Just film yourself, cut yourself out, put the article on, boom, you can post it in a matter of 5-10 minutes.
So let's say you have a listing on Zillow. You could screen record that listing on Zillow, just scroll down slowly. And then once that screen record is done, then you go to the green screen on Instagram. You put that listing behind you. It's scrolling down the video on Zillow as you're talking about your listing and promoting it. The video is automatically replay. So there's different ways that you can get creative where it's super easy and simple. It takes like next to no thought, like 5-10 minutes, you're done. But it's stuff that people eat up. People stay there to watch it. They'll share it. It really is useful.
For sure. So, if you're just starting out, or even if you are posting content, these are some questions that I would suggest asking yourself. So the number one struggle I can tell you right now with content creators, especially for business owners, is they have zero clue who they're speaking to. And when I say that, it's like, who specifically are you trying to attract with the content? I know there's because there's a lot of realtors here, buyers, sellers, investors. Okay, that's fine. But what do they look like? How old are they? What are their interests and hobbies? What type of content do they like? What social media platform do they hang out on? There's so many questions that you need to be asking to basically develop that avatar or that profile to revolve all the content around. And I promise you, when you focus on this and answer this question first, and don't get me wrong, you can pivot. I mean, just because you have the answer today, it may change like in a couple weeks or something. When you have this, you save so much time because now you're just super clear on the content. And more times than not, you're not going to be burnt out. Because the main reason why a lot of content creators get burnt out is not because of, oh man, I'm getting spread too thin and things like that. It's because they have no direction. They have no direction. That's the main reason why. Another question asked is, why do you want to do this? So do you want to do it to get leads? Do you want to do it to become famous? There's no right or wrong answer, but having that question is going to help you get through a lot of the obstacles and learning curves are along the way. And then these ones go hand in hand. So it's like, what type of content do I want to film? And then how do I package the content? So again, it really comes down to really being laser focused on the type of content I want to do. And then how am I going to present it? So is it going to be talking head? Is it going to be behind the scenes? Is it going to be like a skit? Like maybe you love telling jokes and you want to do like some type of comedic short. So these questions for sure are very, very important to ask yourself.
The best video you can make is one that you'll actually post. So you just have to get over your fear of doing something. Yeah. Like no one's going to really like how they look or sound all the time, but you just have to get out there, stay consistent, just hit post. Don't care about what a potential negative perception of you might be, because that's probably not true. That's probably just self-talk with yourself. Just keep posting and you'll see the results.
So kind of updated this a little bit. So in our opinion, these are the 2 most powerful platforms, like as far as conversion, right? Like business content creator, having someone watch the video, tracking them through a sales process and closing them. These are the best 2 platforms in our opinion, okay? And so when we talk about Instagram, you can throw Facebook in there as well because Facebook owns Instagram. It kind of works the same way. But this is kind of what you're looking at as far as we've seen kind of like the healthy barometer as far as posting goes. Okay, so like, for example, YouTube, 1 long form, 3 short forms a week. Instagram, 3 to 4 per week, 5 to 7 stories per day. So if you have any questions about how to do stories, just come find me after, I'll teach you. But the most important thing is to have them optimized for for leads, okay? And we'll discuss later of like further trainings and things like that to teach you. But the important thing is you have to have a destination from where the viewer sees your content and they go. So whether it be a landing page, whether it be a calendar to book a call, whether it be a VSL, which is a video sales letter that talks more about yourself, your team, your process, your mission, having that locked in or dialed in is very helpful because they know exactly where to go to learn more about you and your team or your sales process. So having those dialed in as you get into the content is really good. And the number one thing that people leave money on the table for are they don't respond to DMs. They don't respond to comments. It's crazy how much, like if you're pretty active on Instagram, if you go to the messages session and you go to like requests, so these messages are from people that don't normally follow you, but they'll send you a message. It's amazing how many messages are in there. Like I see the clients that we work with, they just have hundreds of messages just because, and they don't look at them. So they're missing so many opportunities. And these messages are like from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so our philosophy is like speed to lead, meaning once you get a lead or a message, you answer as fast as you can, because I'm trying to remember the exact percentage, but it was something like if you respond to a new lead within 20 seconds, you're able to close that lead like 93% of the time or something like that. It's some drastic stat. So it's super important to either have a system in place or automation in place where you can funnel them immediately and answer their questions, or you're just scouring your messages and just responding to DMs and stuff.
And it's all about engagement. The more comments, the more shares you can get on your videos, the more that the algorithm is going to drive it. And then, like he already said, ideally you're creating one long form YouTube video a week, and you could just start with no editing at all. You're the expert in your field on a certain topic. Just get in front of a camera, start talking, create a quality thumbnail, and then over time you can learn to edit, or you can hire Michael and his team to really take it to the next level. But stay consistent for a year. That's 52 videos that you'll have at the end of the year. And then looking at YouTube content specifically, like how do you structure a video? So you've decided that you're going to be making a long form YouTube video. Well, there's different layers to the metrics of how the algorithm works on YouTube. And so first off, it's going to look at the click-through rate. So when someone's scrolling on YouTube, the amount of people that are clicking on your thumbnail after they see it, that plays into your click-through rate. So that's the percentage of people that see your thumbnail, click into the video. Once they're on the video, then it's going to look at 30-second retention. So that's where you don't introduce yourself off the bat. The first 30 seconds are just trying to provide value and show people why they should be staying for the long term. Beyond 30 seconds, then you can do a little intro like, hey, if I haven't met you yet, I'm so-and-so, this is what I do. That's great. And then beyond that, it's going to be average view duration. And that just comes from creating quality content. So it's basically hook, intro, body, call to action. And then, with YouTube, it's the click-through rate, 30-second retention, and then how long is someone staying to watch. Who uses AI? Okay.
Oh, it's a must. It's a must.
Yeah. It's a must. The biggest thing for me is just it helps with brainstorming over anything. So, for example, this is a prompt that I put into ChatGPT. You're a high-producing mortgage loan officer looking to create high-quality, short and long-form content to educate prospective home buyers and current homeowners who might benefit from a refinance. Can you give me 20 video topics, 10 short-form, 10 long-form of videos I can create? Then give me 3 bullet points for each video with talking points. And in 10 seconds, it spits out all of these ideas to at least get the wheels turning so that you can shorten the thought process and figure out what to create content on. So, I mean, if you're not using AI already, you absolutely have to. And then as you continue to use a certain platform, for example, ChatGPT, it's come to learn who I am and what I do, because I talk to it about, hey, the Couch GM stuff, sports. I also talk about mortgage stuff. It's like, would you like me to tailor these for your brand voice, Couch GM mortgage, or using personality, Pacific Northwest setting, sports style and analogies for hooks and storytelling. It's just priceless, just being able to help move the process along. And then it can even create thumbnails for you. Like if you don't know how to do Photoshop or Canva, you could tell it, hey, make me a thumbnail that's 1920 by 1080 in size for a video that's talking about whatever. And the more you prompt it, it starts here. Then you say, make it actually add this or add this, and it can just continue to build it out. So,
So as far as AI goes, there's a new study that went out that basically said that only 2%. So there's 800 million users of ChatGPT, and only 2% know how to use the additional feature. So like there's something called deep research, where you can basically have them deep research anything, where it basically scours thousands of websites and sources. So for example, you can be like, okay, give me the real estate market in Vancouver, Washington, first-time home buyers, give me a full report on that. So it'll do a deep research, it'll take like 20 minutes and give you a full-fledged report on that market, for example. And so talking about what Connor said, that's great. So if you're brand new to prompting for ChatGPT especially, that's perfect as far as like starting out, but there's always levels, right? And so getting to the point of where you create custom instructions for a custom GPT that imagine something that knows you and your business inside and out, and whatever you prompt it, the specific knowledge it spits out are based on the instructions and the knowledge that you train it, basically. So think of it as like, it's literally like a robot. It's literally a robot. Like you're just teaching it about yourself and your business, and now it's like compiling a whole strategy for you. So this is, for example, one of the products that we have that we use for our clients is like what I talked about earlier, is finding out who you're speaking to with your content. So based on some onboarding questions that we have like 22 in total, we plug this into the custom GPT, and what it does, it creates a full-fledged report.
Thanks so much for watching the video so far. If you have any questions at all or need help implementing any of the information we just covered, be sure to visit our website, praisemedia.com. Now back to the video.
There's a video that should pop. It's just like a live, oh, there we go. So basically it spits out an entire profile of who your ideal video viewer is based on the questions that you answered, okay? So think about it's spitting out content ideas, specifically that's gonna attract those people. So in addition to the listing stuff, things that are like off niche, more personal, things of that nature. And so this is something that we've been using the last couple quarters or so, and it's been a game changer. Not only does it save a lot of time, but it also is just giving you a very clear blueprint of what content to create. So,
and it's all about shortening the learning curve, basically. If we can give you the tips to just like, you could try to learn it all yourself, but if we could help just get past that.
Exactly.
Any questions?
All right. Questions?
Thoughts?
Questiones.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Nice.
We have some exciting news. So myself, as well as my buddy Connor, who is also in this video, are spearheading a 3-week workshop called the Client Magnet Launchpad. So what this is a fully immersive virtual workshop. We'll be meeting on Zoom for an hour to go over some hacks, tips, and other strategies that's going to help you leverage both social media content and AI systems to help blow up your local business. So this is specifically for local business owners. So if you're interested, visit the first link in the description. Spots are filling up fast, so you want to sign up today.